everybody, welcome back to another video, the T on NPD and relationships. Hello everyone. To all of my new subscribers and new family members, hello, hi, welcome. And to my tribe and family at large, welcome back. Thank you all so much, fam, for coming back and watching another video. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And also, y'all know I love to always mention when I'm shooting these videos, I want to make sure that I do plug our weekly live stream. Y'all, this is so important. Why? Because this is where we get to the meat of the matter, y'all. This is where we talk about the spiritual aspect of this thing and actually coming to that place of healing, wholeness, and boldness. You know, I talk about that, right? Because I don't want you to just heal. I want you to become whole, and I want you to walk in that boldness. You know what I'm saying? So if you are on the YouTube and Facebook platform, I want you, please make sure you turn your notification bells on, okay? Because you will be notified when we actually go live on the channels. All right. So YouTube and Facebook, please turn your notification bells on. Bam. Y'all know what I'm about to say now. Y'all know. Y'all know. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. Y'all listen. I want y'all support on that like button. Y'all know the goal of the day is 2.1K plus on the likes. If you rocks with your girl, y'all what? Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Why? Why? Because it helps to spread the content throughout the algorithm. Okay. I want y'all. There was a time where we were really doing good with the like button. And now it's like, you guys come, you tell me you love me so much. Oh, T, we love you. Thank you so much for your content. It's helped me so much, but you don't hit the like button. Love is not about what you say. It's about what you do. Okay. I love y'all. That's why I get on here and get this content for you guys out. I get it out. Make sure you got your motivation, you got your content, whatever. Show me that same thing in return. That's all I'm asking. If you love me, show me. I don't feel the love on that like button. We ain't even getting to 1,000, y'all. I'm fussing right now. I am. I'm doing a little fussing. If you love me, show me. Okay? If it's helping you, show me. All you got to do, it's free. Just hit the like button, okay? All right. And last but not least, let me go ahead and talk about this. Let me go ahead and direct your attention to, hey, get your copy of the book today. Seduced by Satan, y'all. Let me tell you something. This is my first book collaborative effort. And listen, we are doing really well with the book sales, but I want you all to make sure you recommend this to your book club. Pick up a copy for yourself and someone else. This is when if you really want to know how narcissists, how they get down and how they are manipulative in situations where people are not holding them accountable. This right here is it's a page turner. It really is. It's a jaw dropper. It's a showstopper. I want you to pick up your copy today for yourself and somebody else. Recommend it to your book clubs. All right. All right. Let's jump into the topic of this video. Let's get into it. I want to talk about when the new supply, what happens when the new supply begins to question the narcissist narrative. Ooh, wait, what? They don't believe in narcissists? What's going on? Okay, so y'all, let me tell you, this comes from a conversation that I was having with a client where the client was actually contacted by the new supply. We know that this happens, right? But we don't ever really get the other side of it. I've been that supply too that was starting to question the narcissist narrative, but it was after the discard. We're talking about now when the new supply is still in it with the narcissist, but they are questioning the narcissist narrative. Ooh, y'all. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so what happens in this situation? Typically, when the narcissist is going on and on and on about what you did, what happened in the relationship, and the new supply is, first of all, in the beginning, they're enamored with the narcissist, their attention, the love that the narcissist is so-called pouring and showering on that new supply. They're like, "Ooh, this is new. This is something different," right? Okay. So what happens is in this situation, now the narcissist has gotten into it, um, and the new supply has been vetted. They're just okay. We gonna get into this. We gonna do it. All right. So now, after that initial stage of the love bomb and the future faking, they've started to notice some things about the narcissist. So the things that they're starting to notice, and this is what came up in the conversation, is that a lot of stuff that the narcissist was saying and what they were doing was not matching. Okay, that was the thing that basically drew their attention to, okay, wait a minute, you said you were going to do this, you said you were going to do that. Okay, but what you're saying and doing is not really matching. So, okay, let me back up and kind of look at this for real, for real. And that's initially how narcissists get themselves in trouble, is because they start that lying, and they start that, what they're saying and what they're doing is just not matching, right? And then not only that, but they start the gaslighting, but it's subtle in the beginning, right? Oh no, I didn't say that. Because if what they're doing and saying is not matching, the new supply is calling them on it. No, I didn't say that. So the new supply is like, wait, but you did. But they're questioning themselves now, and they're thinking, okay, did they actually say this, or did they not? Yeah. So they're questioning that. And then the narcissist comes back and says something else, and they do something different. And then the new supply is like, oh, wait a minute. No, now it's more evident. Now they're bringing it to the narcissist's attention, and they're saying, no, this is what you said and what you did. You said you were going to do this, but this is what you actually did or you did not do. And the narcissist tries to gaslight, the new supply push back. Nope, can't gaslight in this situation. I know what you said. I know what you didn't do. Right? Now, new supply is starting to look more at you. This is when the new supply really starts to stalk your social media. They start looking at everything you doing and saying. It's not because, the narcissist, it's not just because the narcissist is talking about you. It's also because now the new supply is watching the narcissist, and they're getting two different views of them. Okay, this is what I saw when I first started out with you. We were having all of this conversation, all of this attention, and all of this stuff going on. But now that we're getting into this relationship, what you're saying and doing is two different things. Now the new supply is starting to question the narcissist narrative about you. Okay, is what you said about that person that you were with your ex, is it really true? Because I'm sitting here watching you, and you doing and saying two different things. And yeah, that's an issue. See, I tell y'all all the time, the narcissist, all you got to do is sit back and watch them. They gonna jack it up every single time. You can look for the narcissist to tear that situation up. They gonna do it. They are. You can bet your bottom dollar it's gonna happen. They gonna jack up the situation. You just gotta wait and let them do it. Right? So you just sit back, and are you looking for the narcissist to fail? I don't think nobody just really sitting up there looking for them to fail and like, oh, you just gonna make this. Nobody is really sitting there watching that. But you got to know that the seeds that you sow are going to come back for that harvest. You can't sow apple seeds and look for a plum or a pear tree to spring up. That's not going to happen. No, what you sow, baby, is what you going to get back. So now the new supply is sitting there watching that narcissist, and they got questions. So in this particular instance, the new supply did reach out to my client. Guess what? At this point, the client is like, I ain't never going back to him. So whatever they got to say, and at first she was reluctant. She didn't want to say anything. And she was like, I'm not going to deal with it because I don't want any parts of it. And I usually advise y'all not to, let the new supply find out on their own. That's between them and the narcissist. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay. But she decided in this instance that she was going, okay, let me talk to her and see what she got to say or what she wants to know. Right. And I was like, and she asked, like, what do you think? I said, well, that's up to you. Pray about it and see what what you come up with. So, she decided that she was going to go ahead and engage. So what happened was, that's it. Basically, that's what started it, is that the narcissist was basically saying and doing two different things. And so the narrative was being questioned, and she got a chance to talk to them, and the new supply had questions or whatever. And that whole conversation went down. It happened. Okay. And so the result of it all was that, yeah, the narcissist, their narrative was completely false. They were saying things like, and this is what we know they say anyway, that we crazy, that, that we were trying to control them. We were trying to basically cause them or make them do things that they didn't want to do. And it just wasn't, the relationship didn't feel real. It didn't feel authentic. Now they're talking about, this is all what they felt. The narcissist is saying to the new supply, this is what they were feeling, is that we were being that way. But we know that all of that was just projection. But baby, when that new supply begins to question the narrative of the narcissist, guess what happens? Now the narcissist is getting that narcissistic injury. And not only that, but the narcissist doesn't trust the new supply anyway, but that now they're feeling unsafe. They're feeling unsafe with the new supply. So guess what that's going to make them do? They're going to want to come back to you, right? Because you made them feel safe. You made them feel like, okay, I don't have to watch this person 24/7, although they don't trust you, but they had a level of trust in you that they don't now have with the new supply, right? So when the new supply begins to question their narrative, a lot of times what happens is it opens the door. And I know y'all don't want to hear this, but a lot of times what happens is it's going to open the door for the narcissist to now want to come back to you, because now they're this person that they don't even have history with is starting to question what they do and say. But y'all, it gets uglier. Okay, it does. It gets uglier. Now, when this happens, right? Now the narcissist is getting ready to start, okay, devaluing that new supply. Now you're going to get the phone calls, the text messages, and different things like that. Because in this situation, the narcissist found out that this person had a conversation with the old supply or the ex. It got real ugly. Not only was the narcissist starting to run a slight, a low-key smear campaign with the clan of crows, that family, with the new supply, but baby, they ramped up the smear campaign on you, the old supply, or on this particular individual. But this is what happens when the new supply starts to question the narrative. And all that's happening in this situation is that the narcissist does not possess the ability to go the distance. They are just very superficial people. And that's what, and them saying and what they said and what they did was, it was not matching up. And that's what initially drew the attention to that new supply. And that's what's going to draw the attention to the new supply, because y'all got to realize these relationships, you can just pretty much tell what's going to happen from one moment to the next. It just depends. Now, some of the fine details might change because the supplies are different. But when that new supply starts to question the narrative, this is what the narcissist is going to be coming back to you. And even whether the narcissist was able to verify that you said something, or even if you didn't have anything to do with it, that new supply is now looking, okay, I'm watching this person's social media, what the narcissist said about them. And what I can see on social media is completely different too. Yes, it's completely different. Now they just like, is this clown lying about this situation? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what happens, y'all. When this When they start to question the narcissist narrative, it's because the narcissist has drawn that attention to themselves with the lying and the gaslighting. What they're saying and doing is not matching. The new supply, a lot of times, tried to reach out to y'all. Some of y'all said, I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want nothing to do with you or the narcissist. I'm not saying anything. But in this case, my client was like, yeah, they did X, Y, and Z. Right? But I want y'all to understand something. When something like this happens, remain in a neutral space. Don't have nothing to do with that narcissist. And I'm just saying to y'all, I would like for y'all to not have anything to do with the new supply either, because I don't want y'all in it either way. But the narcissist is going to reap what they sow. The lies that they told about you and all of what they said with that new supply, the moral of this story is it's going to get found out, basically. So everything that they said about you, every lie that they told, it's going to eventually come full circle. Because that new supply, they might be snowed for a minute, but unless they're a narcissist, they're not stupid. They going to figure out something is wrong here. This person over here thriving and doing real well. And I mean, they ain't showing no signs of what you said. And now I'm now seeing, this is what the new supply is saying. I'm now seeing the ones that's got good sense, the one that wasn't back there watching you go through your whole situation. Right? This is what happens, y'all. So, hey, it is what it is. The narcissist brought it on themselves. They go, your lie's only going to be able to hold up for a certain amount of time. And then you're going to have to come on in out the rain, buddy. Yep. There it is. So family, listen, this is what happens when when the new supply begins to question the narcissist narrative. Yeah, they're going to try to run it. And especially if they found out the new supply said something to you and you had a conversation, they're going to run a smear campaign on you. They're scared. They're very uneasy because now the supply is being threatened. And that question and that narrative is messing with that ego. It's done hit them with a cool, hard, narcissistic injury. Let them stay right over there. Remain in your no contact. Don't get into that. All right, family. So y'all listen, take really good care of yourselves. All right. And I will see you all. I love you, family. I'll see you all on the next video. And I will see you all healed and whole at the top. Shalom, family. Peace.